tennis shirt, but why?
Yeah.
The Amazing Spider-Man!
Holy hell.
The Invasion of the Dragon Men.
It was a warm summer night on a hilltop far from the bright lights of the city. A group of big...
Yeah. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. This is me discovering new tech and...
Just new ways to feed me bullshit.
Yeah, new ways to trap Henry into looking at something such as Invasion of the Dragon Men, the vinyl record put out in 1977, Spider-Man story. We haven't podcasted for a while, and I thought, let's start off with something completely unfamiliar and confusing to make sure that Henry completely forgets everything he was going to say.
Really easing me in here, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for this. I don't know if this is like Henry's Law in like balance, but like, what are the odds that this is super racist?
Yeah, I mean, if it's Dragon Men, so if it's going to be racist against anyone, it will be like something to do with
xenophobic.
Yeah, it's
Unit students in astronomy gazes up at the northern stars. They're in
like every Iron Man like comic until like 1985.
Identify the constellations is to start with Ursa Major, the Big Dipper.
There it is. It's beautiful.
Boy, am I thirsty. Could you...
Okay, he's thirsty. Let's opt out. He's thirsty. Let's get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a podcast that is not about listening to vinyl narrative records from the 70s.
It's actually only marginally better. It's that anti-Spider-Man show. We talk about Spider-Man, but instead of a vinyl, which would be cool and retro, we just put it on Spotify or whatever podcast app we have, and you just listen to it. It's great.
Yeah, you're making me want to start recording this on the vinyl or something.
If there's any way to make this process slower, this is probably
and more expensive.
Yeah. You know what? Like, we're only like losing a little bit of money, but what if we spend £100 per episode to release them 8 months slower?
A Patreon goal can be you get a vinyl record of all our Morbius episodes.
And then like, I feel like we just would come out of it with no Patreon subscribers. Everyone else was enjoying the content, but out of principle, they were like, no.
Yeah.
You don't get to have this anymore.
Patreon start taking even a bigger cut. We're paying them.
Yeah, that they ban us. We have to go wherever Alex Jones goes to like release his podcasts for money.
The biggest Spider-Man the Animated Series podcast on Truth Social. I mean, we could be if we wanted to.
This week's host is fucking Joe Rogan.
If anyone is starting here for some reason, we're like the Spider-Man the Animated Series recap podcast that has the worst recording schedule.
At this point, we've already completed the entire run of the show like 3 times over in terms of like getting through.
Oh yeah, well you know, Walloping Web Snappers, friends of the show. Their whole thing is that they I'm plugging a different podcast that I'm not a part of.
Yeah, you should go listen to this one instead.
But they do all the Spider-Man cartoons, and they're still beating us on animated series. They're on I think they're on like season 5 or something. I don't know.
You just said that they were friends of the podcast, but fuck them. That's what I say.
I did guest on theirs once to talk about the 67 cartoon, and
or Hanna-Barbera shit.
And I think they introduced me as like podcast rival.
Podcast rival.
Yeah, but you guys should listen to them. They're fun guys. They got like a bunch of other podcast stuff they do.
Yeah,
a little network going, Glitter Jaw, but it's cool. But what's cooler is the podcast that you're about to hear. So stay here.
Stay right here. Yeah, put it on your queue or something. Like, stay right here. So yeah, as mentioned, we are a podcast which talks about Spider-Man the Animated Series from the 90s. Hence the title of our podcast, That 90s Spider-Man Show. Hello. This time around, we're talking about episode 8 of season 4. This is a whole season around Partners in Danger. And yeah, as like with many of these episodes, there's no partner and there's like no partner in danger for sure. It's just Harry Osborn.
I'm going to argue that point later on.
I bet. if we can kind of cast our mind back to episode 7 of this fucking nut series, it was about vampires and Blade and how he just can't maintain a relationship because he's fucked up in so many ways. And it was about Morbius, because why not? We needed more Morbius. But anyway, the main takeaway from the episode was that Harry knows that Peter is Spider-Man through an extended campaign of gaslighting and like emotional abuse from his former friend / flatmate.
The major thing really was Mary Jane is lost in Portal World, but Blade and Black Cat and Morbius went off to cancelled Vania for their Blade spin-off that never happened.
I like what you did there.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that one.
Give you some flowers. That was great.
I also heard that that's where Jonathan Majors is living right now.
Castlevania. So there's his own Blade movie made out there.
Yeah, and then 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
In the show, I mean.
Yeah, also in real life, but not for a little while.
Yeah, I'm not just changing the
primarily-
topic. It's just that the episode ended with Terry Lee being like, there's a 9/11, and then Spider-Man's like, oh, you better go see to that. I'm going to be sad about Black Cat over here.
Here we are, dazed and totally confused.
Yeah, we're a regular Lonely Hearts Club.
1 Item 0, 0. There's a 9/11 in progress.
I guess it's time for me to get back to work.
I should probably be doing something. I'm no better than Mark Wahlberg. Hey, Spider Bro, why aren't you helping, bro? Let me go finish beating up this Vietnamese man, and then I'll go save 9/11. Or whatever. Also in Castlevania.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is him and Jonathan Majors trying to get like this aborted Blade movie off the ground.
Yeah, Wahlberg's been making trips there since he was a young man, throwing rocks.
He's like, he's got 2 houses there. Anyway, I've completely lost my train of thought. I've been thinking about Castlevania and like the wonderful town that is in.
The episode is The Return of the Green Goblin. And so
Yes,
I think I know who's going to be in this one.
Somehow it's going to be Morbius.
That would be amazing if it was like Return of the Green Goblin and the first shot is Morbius.
Only if like the second shot is like the Green Goblin like shooting him in the head and like just like throwing his like bloody carcass into like a crusty burger or something.
I think that would make me cancel the podcast for good, right? If that an episode started saying a title involving the Green Goblin and the first shot was Morbius, I'd text you and be like, it's done, I'm sorry.
I can't do any more. Let's do something else. Let's do anything else. No, I mean, right there with you. I'd be like, oh yeah, fine. That's cool. To be honest, like, depending on how Morbius comes back, because he will come back, he can't, like, Mary Jane and Peter, like, get married and then he crashes the wedding.
Yeah, meets up with Vince
It's like
Vaughn.
John said we're trying to get fired from the projects, and he was like, what if I keep bringing back Morbius? They can't possibly keep hiring me.
Well, this episode kind of like starts with like an acid trip, pretty much, right?
It's a real fucked up dream. Like, I wish with the dimension stuff they'd explain anything of what is happening. Because it starts with Harry in his giant bed in his giant room having this like really sweaty dream, and he's just having like flashbacks to his father. My question is like how. Because what we find out is this is actually happening in a reality of some sort, and I'm like, where is Norman Osborn? Is he like hanging out with Freddy Krueger? Like, is that like what's going on here?
Yeah.
You try to add in more puns, you're killed. Oh, I fucking hate this guy.
Oh god.
Anyway, I'd watch that Nightmare on Goblin Street.
Jesus Christ.
Speaking of Jesus Christ, guess who's come back? It's the Green Goblin.
Wow, yeah, I never saw that comparison coming.
The Green Goblin's back in dream form this time, and Harry wakes up, he goes to the mirror, and the Green Goblin's there being like, hey, like, I know where your father is. Just follow me and I'll help you out. And Harry goes along with it because at this point, like, he's lost... Throughout the course of these next 20 minutes, you see to the extent to which he's lost grip with reality. And it's wonderful. It's what he deserves. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, I think as a general rule, all Osborns, past and future, do not look in the mirror ever. It's never a good idea. Willem Dafoe's probably gonna be in there talking shit.
That's what their hair all looks like that because they never have time to comb it.
Yeah.
If I spend more than 3 minutes looking in a mirror, like Willem Dafoe shows up, and I can't get anything done. Just shave it off. Shave it off. That's why they have weird waves.
Be ashamed of who you are.
You wasted your $5 on that haircut.
Have you seen Antichrist yet?
Apparently my dick is terrifying. People refused to look at it. They had to cut the movie a different way.
It really sounds, and from past experience, listeners might think that you're just riffing and jumping straight to DafoePenis talk, but there's actually a Dafoe Antichrist Lars von Trier penis story out there.
Yeah.
So if you just search those keywords, SEO will probably get you that. We should start using that for SEO, right? When I post this on a blog, I'll just like at the bottom, just like you know when you search for something sometimes and you're like, oh, this isn't a useful website. They just have every word at the bottom of the page, you know? And we'll just have that. It's just a chunk of text that's like DafoePenis.
Oh, I thought you meant like you had DafoePenis at the end of it, like people do for the Reddit, just to make more like accurate searches.
Oh, when I search things, that might actually help because all these search engines suck now with AI.
Maybe once we're done with this podcast, we need to start a search engine called DafoePenis.com. I'm feeling lucky.
Okay. You know what my problem is now? I'm like, is that the episode title?
It goddamn better be.
DafoePenis.com and then like in like speech marks Reddit. We don't like make a podcast for like 9 months and then we just post something with that title and then we're like, I don't know why this isn't doing so hot this month.
Oh, I guess we're on a watch list now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I might
read it.
I think it's another year of it not being on my resume.
Yeah, probably for the best. Unless you want to start a search engine and you just look like a Silicon Valley like genius. But yeah. Let's get right back on track. Where were we?
He's listening to the goblin in the mirror without really questioning it. It's kind of funny because he's a bit hesitant. Part of me forgot. I was like, at the start of this episode, I was like, oh, he's gonna find out that his father was the Green Goblin later in the episode.
Yeah.
So at this point, he's just seeing a goblin in a mirror, and it's like, hey, Harry, go hang out in this old factory. And he's like, I guess. I mean, this seems a bit strange, mister, but...
My roommate's ignoring me.
Oh, yeah. He's, like, absolutely starved for all kinds of attention if he's willing to follow goblins into dark rooms.
Sorry, I got distracted again because you said Goblin in the Mirror. I think that Michael Jackson song now. I'm thinking of a goblin in the mirror. He's telling me to make a change.
See, I don't like this because that's actually a good title that makes sense, but I want to go back to DafoePenis.com.
DafoePenis.com. Quote box Reddit. I mean,
is there a hyphen? Is there a hyphen in the middle
of what?
Of Dafoe and Penis.
DafoePenis. Well, if it is a Spider-Man logic, like, or should be like one word, like Superman, like DafoePenis.
Yeah, it might be confusing in the same way that it's like, it's not, Peter Spiderman. It's not Willem DafoePenis. DafoePenis. The penis is compound adjective or something. Anyway. Oh, this is so fascinating. I'm so glad I took us down this fucking route. Anyway, let's go back to where are we?
Before we get back there, if it was hyphenated, right? Would that mean that like a penis got bitten by radioactive Dafoe?
Yes, unless it's happening in the world of Beau is Afraid.
Okay, now I have to watch that movie.
Yeah, exactly. Now you have to watch it because you're like, how can that possibly make sense? And it totally does make sense.
I'm sure it does.
And I want you to watch that movie so much so that you can understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's kind of like staring at an eclipse.
As in, you should look at it like full attention.
Yeah.
Without looking at through a box first.
I'm like the kid at school who's like telling another kid, you should look at the eclipse. Either that or I'm like handing you like a jazz cigarette. You want to see some goblins?
As for someone who was on a time crunch today, I'm like just derailing this podcast left, right, and center. Let's start again with the first sentence of this episode.
Want some Goblin Kush?
Want that Green Goblin? Want to get in my glider?
Some OG Osborn?
OG Osborn.
Osborn OG would be pretty good as a name. Anyway, back
Attempt
to...
7.
Yes, attempt 7. I'll stop.
You could stop, but I know we'll start it again. But we'll carry on as much as we can, really. So, the takeaway from this is that the Goblin is back, he's in Harry's mind, and he's telling him to go to Oscorp so he can become the Green Goblin. And for some reason, Harry's like, yeah, sure, I will become a supervillain to see my father again. I wonder where he fits into all of this. Wouldn't the motivating thing to be would be like, hey, Harry, come here and be the Goblin for your father. But he's like, no, this Goblin is going to lead me to my dad. But I guess he knows his own son better than I do, so it works.
Go to the ground floor janitor's closet. Now, push up on the spigot in the sink, and then rotate it all the way around.
I guess he knows the Green Goblin... Well, I was going to say his Green Goblin was around when his dad went missing, but that's just an unrelated event. You wouldn't assume they're related.
No.
You, lost your keys the same day that, I was trying to riff a sports thing, and I can't remember any sports because I'm too much of a fucking nerd.
Or you lost your keys the same day the Twin Towers went down.
Yeah, and then you're like, this is related. Actually, there's a lot of people like that. Maybe it's good that Harry Osborn was in the 90s and not now. He'd just go down a rabbit hole.
And he'd just end up... He'd end up with a QAnon, which he probably would do now, as we'll find out. Like, he's on that mental level at the end of this episode, let's say.
I tell you what, it wouldn't be bad to write a Spider-Man story now where, the Green Goblin is basically Q, you know?
I guess, in the new ones, J.J. Jameson's basically, InfoWars, right? So, the next logical step is that, Norman Osborn becomes basically, Elon Musk.
But the weird thing they did was, the movies did that, right? But the comics did the opposite, because in 2017, there's a Chip Zdarsky story, that's great, by the way, where Peter reveals to JJ that he is Spider-Man.
Wow.
He unmasks. And then they have this long conversation about it. It's really good. And then he becomes a supporting character who's actually supportive of Spider-Man at that point.
Wow.
And I'm not up to date, but I think it's still like that now. And then they
great.
did that, and then a couple of years later in the movies, they're like, oh, and this JJ is just an insane villain.
Yeah. He's basically made Alex Jones.
Yeah.
He's one of our greatest character actors and turned him into a madman.
Yeah.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the takeaway from all this is that Harry becomes the Green Goblin. That's all you need to know. But what I'm here for now is this. I don't even call this a B plot, but whatever the fuck the Punisher is doing in this episode,
this is where the meat of the episode is for me, good and bad.
I don't
because the Harry stuff is such an afterthought.
Yeah.
To skip to my general take on the episode a little bit, it is insane that we got a 2-part Morbius episode again, and this is one episode of Harry becoming Green Goblin.
And then being,
It's so rushed, and then they're like, yeah, let's put the Punisher in here. There's not much faith in it, but then the Punisher stuff is just insane. It's like a joke we would make, riffing about this show.
Literally, yeah. For my notes, the last thing in my notes is just the phrase, what an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm so mad at the Punisher. And the clumsiest I've ever seen him. It's amazing. So we'll get there. But first of all, we're going to head to a graveyard where things happen. So Aunt Anna is there. I don't know who she's mourning, but the Punisher's also there mourning the detective series Castle with Nathan Fillion, who's a real big fan of it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
He was really into the will they won't they between Nathan Fillion and Stana Katic. And then the show kind of went down once they got together.
Yeah, that's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah, who knew he would love somebody police dramas?
Mm.
The week before he was mourning Adrian Monk. It was great.
And like most fans, he's just responded to that cancellation by just exploding everything he could see.
Yeah, I mean, give him a reason, really. Aunt Anna runs into the Punisher. They have a little conversation. Aunt Anna is an old white lady in a graveyard. She should be pepper spraying the fuck out of him.
Yeah. Alone at night in a graveyard with a threatening looking man, and not they didn't make casual attire Punisher design for this. It's Punisher in the trench coat with the skull on his chest and practically like bulges of assault weaponry around him. You just run into this like Proud Boy in a graveyard, and you're like, "Hey, let's have a chat."
And the other bulge is probably because he's in the graveyard. He's probably like a little bit aroused because it's the Punisher. So it's like probably like that going on as well. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna talk to this guy. I'm in like basically like a Disturbed music video. This is fine."
And not only that, but this is where Aunt Anna. We've talked about her before as negatively.
Yeah, very.
But she is a supervillain in this episode.
Yeah,
because
she's the big bad of the series.
Because she talks to Punisher, right? And this very threatening, disturbing looking stranger hanging out in a graveyard at night. She immediately tells him about suspicions she has about her niece's boyfriend and implies that he's up to criminal, suspicious activity. Why would you ever tell this to a very violent looking man? You wouldn't even, it would be messed up to do this to like a, I don't know, like a PI or something, but this is a guy you just met with a skull on his chest.
Carrying like 80 guns on him. He's like hanging around graveyards.
It's such an insane thing to do. She's completely irredeemable here.
Like Aunt May is like living with her to like help her get over like her niece's disappearance, and she's like, "Fuck that bitch."
Yeah, it's her friend's son as well. That's the other son, but like you know, practically son.
Yeah,
and yeah, I really gotta think like John Semper Jr.'s like mother-in-law burned him so bad. He was like, I'm gonna character because that's the other thing. Aunt Anna in the comics is kind of like a non-entity. Like she doesn't do much. She is an obstacle sometimes. There's a brief period where they have to live with Aunt Anna and Aunt May, like Mary Jane and Peter, when they're married, I think. And there's a point where like Aunt Anna thinks she sees Peter acting weird because of Spider-Man stuff and thinks he's having an affair. And then she brings it up and Mary Jane like hysterically laughs, which is pretty funny. But like I feel like that's most of the conflict they have is just that one thing. She's kind of like a nice enough person. In here, she is just like full on like villain mode 24/7.
She's the devil. Yeah. If he wasn't Spider-Man, he'd get like assassinated by the Punisher.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Punisher, like, just to clarify, he's on like some weird like trip where he's like, maybe I killed too many people. I should try and like give back in some way. Hey, old lady in a graveyard, you need someone killed? This is technically a good deed, right? And like considering where this episode goes, this is like the best outcome for him because in real life he just basically could perform the lynching in real life. That's what happened.
Yeah, Punisher does not come off well in this episode, and not for the normal reasons of he's just like a violent murderer, because he's a softer version in this show, you know. But he's just so moronic.
Oh, he like fumbles so hard in this episode. We'll get there.
I just know a crime has been committed, but I can't prove it.
Why don't you tell me about it?
I'm convinced her nephew, the one I told you about, knows where Mary Jane is. For some strange reason, my niece often confided in him.
What's the boy like?
He's very secretive. Oh, and he's brought so much misery to poor May. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised by anything he'd do.
Basically, the Punisher's now like on the lookout. He's tracking Peter Parker, who is coincidentally speaking to Liz about MJ, and he's like, I guess she really is gone, which in script speak means she's coming back this episode. So yeah, Liz then makes a suggestion to Peter, one that has never crossed his mind in the maybe 15 years he's known Harry or whatever it is. They should go surprise him with pizza, and Peter I think has generally forgotten that he lives there.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, my roommate.
Now he's talking to Liz. He's like pretending like he's been trying to talk to Harry, whereas we've seen the show he's jumping out of windows to not talk to him.
He'd rather reveal that he's Spider-Man than talk to him.
Yeah.
While Peter's like, yeah, that's a great idea. You can see in his eyes, he's like, oh shit, talk to that asshole again. And yeah, they get like a whole like ton of pizzas. It is pizza time in this universe. And as Liz goes
ding
to, like,
ding, pizza time mention.
Pizza time.
We get 4.5 pence from Sam Raimi for doing that. He wanted it, but not that badly. Anyway, yeah. So as Liz goes to open the door, Peter's spider sense goes off, and basically their apartment blows up.
As it frequently does.
It's like, this isn't even his apartment. This is like his like cushy digs, you know, that he's not paying rent at, with the giant rooms. And yeah, it just goes up in flames. Peter kind of like carries her off to a bench where she's been knocked out by the blast. He's like, "Oh, she was in an explosion. I should probably take her to the hospital." But he's like, "Nah, park bench is basically the same thing. That'll take too long." You see New York traffic around this time. I don't have a cell phone. We go over and we see the Green Goblin blowing shit up. And Peter's like, "The Goblin's back." And obviously this turns into, he changes into Spider-Man, they fight. Peter kicks his ass, because obviously Harry's never been in a fight before.
Yeah.
And yeah, he beats him off, takes off his mask. He's like, "Oh shit, it's Harry," who gasses him and runs off. Oh yeah, I love when people gas Peter and run off, like happens like every other episode. Peter kind of deduces that Harry knows his identity. I don't know how he knows that, but I guess he knows that.
Yeah.
Because
well,
otherwise, why would Harry blow up his own house? Also, why would Harry get the Goblin costume? Harry's lost his mind.
Yeah, there is a point later in this episode, right, where they, I think, have their first proper conversation, and Harry in the Green Goblin outfit calls him Peter, and Spider-Man has no reaction whatsoever and carries on talking. And I was like, there was no point in this episode, like, because he was like, "Oh, Green Goblin's back. Oh, is Harry?" And then later on they're talking, and then he's just like, doesn't register the fact that Harry also knows that he's Spider-Man, you know? Like, there's no...
Yeah.
Unless
It's
I
basically a
missed
throwaway
it.
line where he says, like, Harry knows I'm Spider-Man, but it's like, it's not really revealed how. It's not really, like, explained how much time has passed since he found out he was Spider-Man, and if Peter's talked to him in, like, the minimum week that's happened.
Yeah, I guess that might be one of the reasons why he thinks there's a... Harry's mindset, what does him discovering that Peter is Spider-Man have anything to do with him following the Goblin around, you know? Like, he's looking for his dad, and then the Goblin's like, "I can help you find your dad," and then he's like, "Oh, Peter is Spider-Man." But I don't know, like, it's very confusing, like, that aspect of it, his motivations. And then he takes the Goblin serum and goes crazy, and then it's like, well, motivations don't matter anymore because he's nuts. So,
but how did he get here? And the funny thing is that Norman Osborn could, like, bridge this gap, because he knows Peter is Spider-Man, he knows he's a Green Goblin, he knows that Harry wants to find his father, and he does nothing. He's just like, "I'll just let this play out. You know, I'm bored here, like, fucking, like, the other dimension. I would also talk to Freddy Krueger. I'm sick of this motherfucker."
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it at the end, but like the dynamics of like how this limbo situation works with where Norman is right now is so confusing.
I wish someone would explain it to me. It doesn't make any sense.
I think maybe it was written in a way that they weren't expecting it to be unpicked by two men in their 30s in like in like 30 years time on a podcast.
They probably like those 10-year-olds will buy this. Like,
yeah, they'll watch it and then they'll never fucking see it again. You know, those tapes will get worn out by 98.
And those teenage boys will go off and get jobs, and then like they were like, "There's not going to be like a whole society like based on unpicking my like shitty writing decisions for 10-year-old kid shows." But here we are. Here we are in this wonderful present. Anyway, speaking of wonderful present, Norman like goes right back to where he was before he got into the dimensional like kerfuffle that he's in, and is just verbally abusing like Harry through this entire fight.
Right.
He's basically like yelling at him from the sidelines, like, "Why are you so shit at this?" And like Harry's like, "Oh yeah, I would have attacked him, but I ran out of bombs."
Imagine you're flying an aircraft that only two men have ever used. Do you know what I mean? It's not even riding a bike, it's flying your own personal jet around whilst throwing explosives for the first time, and you're getting shit about how you're not good enough at it.
Yeah, no, just like pilot this giant flying carpet while throwing grenades and try not to throw up.
Yeah.
And also kill Spider-Man.
Yeah, this superpowered man is gonna try and kick your ass at the same time.
Yeah. Also, don't fall to your death. That's gonna happen. Should I have some kind of like practice? No, we don't have time for you to practice how to use any of this.
Yeah. Wait, you're not good enough at it, so take this like Goblin LSD.
You're gonna have diarrhea for a while, but we don't have time to deal with
Yeah,
that.
you're not insane enough to pilot this.
I don't really care what the dosage is either. I'm not a physiologist. I'm barely a scientist. Like, it's a miracle he doesn't immediately just, like, fall off and fall to his death.
Mm-hmm.
Have a psychotic break. Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
You fool! Why aren't you going after Spider-Man? I ran out of bombs! Oh, we ran out of bombs, did we?
We cut to the Punisher, who's watching the news, and he's found out that Peter Parker's in trouble because his apartment exploded. Yes, Spider-Man is again homeless. It kind of puts him ahead of all of us watching the show. And as a little note, the cut to Micro here is really interesting because everyone, as we know, in the show is super hench. And even though Micro is like meant to be like fat, he's got like a really he's got like massive arms. He's like his shirt's like barely staying on, and it's one of those weird like big guy shirts where like his belly's being covered, but like his arms are like really tight.
Man,
and it's like it's like
yeah.
I don't want to do sit-ups, but like I do all this like chair.
Because obviously, like you can't create the Kingpin physique in real life, really, unless you're like, I don't know, Andre the Giant or something.
Or like Meatball.
Microchip is like D'Onofrio's Kingpin.
Yeah.
You know, he's like that physique, which is still insane, but like there's a limit to what we can do in reality.
He just likes a burger. That's like what it comes across like. He's like a former bodybuilder who likes a burger. And he sits in the chair a bit too long.
Yeah.
Like,
he's like lifting weights all day. His arms are like ripped out of this world.
He just do sit up. You know? He's like practicing for like an arm wrestling contest. He's fucking hench, but like only from like the shoulders.
I honestly,
and stuff like that.
Until you mentioned it, I forgot he was in this episode.
I'm sure he forgot. He was on too many performance-enhancing drugs.
Is this where Punisher starts thinking that Peter is the Green Goblin?
We'll get there. Spider-Man is catching a train. He's going over to like Harry's Osborn Manor, which is out on the sticks somewhere. And he basically says like, yeah, if I get caught like snooping around and breaking into this house, I'll say I'm looking for Harry. I feel like the butlers will be like, you haven't talked to that motherfucker in weeks. We know. He tells us everything. He's so lonely, Peter. Why do you ignore him? He finds where Harry went to after the dream, and conveniently he left his laptop open.
I like how they explain that kind of thing. I can't remember what the actual line is, but Peter's like, oh, I can figure this out because Harry is like stupid.
Yeah.
Because he's not trying to cover his tracks because he's just like completely winging everything.
He's just like catching strays all over this fucking episode. Laptop remains on and reveals all the hideouts in the city where the Green Goblin hides out. So Peter just like puts this, he prints this out of like the convenient like printer on the bottom of his laptop because he
high tech shit.
If I was Peter, I'd probably go and live in one of these because again he's homeless.
Yeah,
like his apartment blew up and he was like, yeah, I'll figure this out.
I guess he has some bad memories there from like the fire that he started. Where Norman Osborn convinced everyone he knows in his life that they were having a love affair.
Yeah, and his girlfriend disappeared.
That was a bad night. Like, his girlfriend disappears, and then everyone's giving him a weird look, because it's like the mid-90s, and they think he's having a gay affair with his friend's older father, who has now also gone missing.
Yeah.
You know, Harry, your friend and I share a little secret, don't we, Pete?
Tiger, what is he talking about?
This is suspicious as hell, to be honest.
Suspicious as hell. I guess that's the Punisher's following him, but like the Punisher's like, I know he was like a former cop, but he wasn't clearly a former detective. Let's say that.
Well,
much.
I will say also like it's a combination of Punisher not being great at this, but also Peter, as we'll see in these next few scenes, just like incriminates himself so badly.
we'll fucking get there. Yeah, like this arrangement's not working at all for Harry, but like we'll get there. And as he leaves, his spider sense goes off because the Punisher's watching him. He follows Peter to another hideout, and it kind of like it looks like the apartment where like the Vulture and Scorpion live a couple of episodes ago. Like there's just next door, you can just hear like banging because like the Vulture's boss is over for a dinner, and it's like he's up for a big promotion at work, but Scorpion's making the meal, but he forgets the ingredients, so they've got to like. He's gonna run to the Burger King next door to pretend like it's his own cooking.
I mean, not to get too distracted, but presumably, like, there's no reason why Scorpion and his girlfriend Sarah can't still live there.
Right? They probably still live there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure things ended badly with Vulture, so he's probably not allowed.
Probably back there.
Well, also,
It's
I don't
like-
think Vulture. To be fair, Vulture was chained up. I don't think he wanted to live there.
Yeah, I know. He's like, oh, fine. I've seen New York rental prices. Put me back in the chains.
Yeah.
Sorry, we turned your room into a gym. Scorpion's gonna try and get into podcasting, so it's a podcast studio now. He kicks down a door. He's like, "Yeah, I found all this goblin shit." And conveniently, the Punisher walks in to be like, "Freeze, motherfucker! What is all this goblin shit?" And he has like a whole thing where he's like, I call it the fumble of the century, because from the Punisher's mind, he knows that Peter's a weird dude. He knows that Emily disappeared. He was his girlfriend. He knows that Norman Osborn was involved somehow. He has all that information. He goes, "You have a secret identity. You must be the Green Goblin." And of all the conclusions to come to, I think it's like really weird he comes to that one, because he puts all the pieces together and he just gets the wrong output. I don't know how he does it.
Brilliant deduction, Holmes.
Although saying that, I do think it's interesting. I don't. This ever happened in the comics, but I think this is a very Spider-Man story. You have a cliffhanger. Like, the better way to do this actually would be if there's a cliffhanger at the end of the first episode, which is that Punisher knows his identity, but then the next episode is like, oh, he got the wrong one.
Yeah.
There's actually a very fun issue about a PI investigating Daily Bugle and knowing that one of them is Spider-Man, and he spends the whole issue putting it together, and it sounds like he's figured out his Peter, and then at the end of the issue, he's knocking on the door to talk to the person that he is accusing of being Spider-Man, and the door opens, and it's J. Jonah Jameson. And the guy just came to the wrong conclusion.
He just completely fumbled.
Yeah, but then with this, I think it's a fun idea to think that Peter is Green Goblin. I think that's a great idea. I think how they get there is kind of crazy, but I think it's a very fun, and it's my favorite part of this episode is this bit, this whole thing of Punisher thinking Peter is Green Goblin and the conversation about that. And I also think it's worth pointing out that Christopher Daniel Barnes, his voice acting is so good in this episode, especially. I don't know, I can't remember who voices Punisher, but he's very good in this. I do like his voice. And when they're talking to each other in this episode, I think it's a blast. Like, I think it's really fun, even when it's making no sense.
It is very stupid, but the one thing I'll say for the Punisher is that, like, every time a conversation is like, "I think you're the Green Goblin," and then Peter goes, "I'm not the Green Goblin, but also here's some Goblin tech that I know how to use."
Yeah, so if we're there, he says "trick or treat" and then throws like a bomb at him or something.
Yeah.
And then he uses the glove, and then he uses the glider. You have spider powers. Can't you, like, find a different way out of this situation?
This is probably not helping my case, but I need to just satisfy my curiosity here in this moment. This is the first instance of it. Yeah, he smokes bombs and he gets out of there. Yeah, he kind of catches up and he's like, "So you take pictures of Spider-Man? You're obsessed with him, and also like you're around whenever Spider-Man's around. Take those photos. You must be the Green Goblin," which is insane. And yeah. So what happens obviously is that Harry glides in and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's me up there, right?" Which is obviously what would happen.
I'll drop the clip in here, but the line reading on that is very, very funny. Paired with him pointing at the Green Goblin in the sky is very funny.
Well, what do you know? That must be me up there.
Very good. As well as that, like I noted down, like the reason that I think the Punisher thinks that Peter is Spider-Man is because he's accepted as Spider-Man, and there's a bit of a love triangle between like Harry and MJ and him, and the Punisher says like, "Oh yeah, and MJ liked Harry better," and like if you follow Harry around for like 5 minutes, you know that was impossible.
I do think it was interesting they included in the flashback at the start of the episode that when they're in that weird dream sequence, he also sees Man Spider when he like he attacks Harry. And I was like, that was actually kind of neat. And again, if this was a two-parter, if you bring that in psychologically, that you're like realizing that not only was Peter Spider-Man, but also Peter turned into a monster spider and attacked, as far as he's concerned, attacked Mary Jane, and then attacked Harry and then fled and then went and maybe killed his dad or something. Like, that's a very interesting way to make Peter look like the bad guy. And then, again, they didn't They didn't really do that, but it was kind of fun to put that in because it was like at the time it just seemed like a funny random thing that the man spider just lightly pushes Harry Osborn over. But now it's like, okay, I see why this guy would have some issues after that.
I mean, before that as well. Gets in the glider at this point. It's great. He's like having his own like Wile E. Coyote cartoon as the Punisher chases him, and he like almost falls to his death hundreds of times. And then he gets the glider, and Punisher's like, only the Green Goblin could use it that well. And you could hear him screaming like, I'm gonna go down, I'm going up, what's happening? I'm gonna die. And Punisher is just like, ugh. Just not getting there.
Is there where he like commands his battle van to just like start shooting missiles everywhere?
Yeah. And he misses every single one on this guy, like doing his fucking like theory test on this glider.
Trying to steer this thing would make anyone nuts.
And yeah, Peter changes to Spider-Man obviously and like wants to get in the middle of this fight. And to chase to find Harry first. And the Punisher's like, I wonder how Peter Parker's tied into this. Also, where did he go? The guy I'm tracking.
Maybe he crashed that glider.
He crashed that glider and disappeared, and now Spider-Man's
Maybe
here.
I hit him with a missile when he's dead, because that's the
died.
point of hitting someone with a missile.
Job done, I guess. I'm gonna go back to that old lady I found in the graveyard. Yeah, at this point, Harry's gotten away, and Norman's like really having to go at him. He's like not letting, like he hasn't seen his son in months. And he's not letting up on him at all. He's just talking a load of shit. It's great. And I think this is why I realized that he doesn't know his father's a Green Goblin, because that's the only reason any of this makes sense.
Right.
He has like an actual deduction, which is beyond anyone else in this episode, but he kind of figures out that the only way that Harry would go would be to Oscorp. So they head there, and then the Punisher follows him. Peter's like, do you know your father's dead, right? And Harry's like, no, he's over there, pointing to like a blank piece of glass.
Which is, again, crazy, because it's like this is the point where you're like, okay, so they're setting up like he's crazy, right? Which we'll get back to, because he's seeing something that's not there.
But apparently it is there, but only he can see it, or some weird, like, fucking Great Gazoo shit, or whatever the fuck's happening. Peter's like, you know your father's Green Goblin, right? And then Harry goes to the reflection, is this true? And the face that Norman makes as he pulls his mask off, and he's like, oh, fuck. Like, he's been, like, caught, like, fucking someone else, or something like that.
But also, if it's, at this point, they're selling it like it's a hallucination.
Yeah.
And so the idea of a hallucination unmasking is also...
And looking sheepish.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does it. He's just like, oh, fuck, I knew this would come up.
Because that's not confirmation, right? It's confirmation that Peter has given you, like, a prompt for your own hallucination. That you are now imagining that as well.
Yeah, it's basically like what ChatGPT works, basically.
Your father was the Green Goblin.
He's lying, isn't he?
Your whining simp of a father doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, and then he takes his mask off, as he should have done right at the start of this, and saved us all so much grief. He still looks embarrassed to be here. And then the Goblin calls Norman a simp, and I'm sure that's accurate. And Spider-Man is just watching Harry have this entire like emotional arc on a blank piece of glass, and he's like, "Oh god, he's fucking lost it." That's when the evil transformation is complete, and Harry he gets his bags under his eyes. He starts like cackling like a madman.
He does look cool
like,
with the bags under his eyes. He looks like really crazy, and it's the first time he has like a design change as well, because when he puts that mask on, he looks exactly the same as Norman as Green Goblin, which I think was probably an expense thing. But it would have been nice if there was like a little bit of a different, even like a different build or something.
Give him like an old jacket, like he's wearing the Green Goblin costume with like an orange jacket over it.
Yeah, or he can wear some like battle gear and ride like a flying surfboard and wear goggles like James Franco did.
I mean, like, that would be something, So he's having anyone was emulate James Franco, let's say that much.
Speaking of Cancelledvania.
Castlevania. He's trying to get, like, a movie off the ground at this point, like...
I heard Seth Rogen has cut all ties with Harry Osborn. They keep bringing it up in interviews, it's so unfair. They're like, hey, what's the deal with, like, you know anything about this goblin serum? And he's like, hey, I'm just trying to promote this pot I made.
I wish I had a Seth Rogen impression to hand, because that would be a great moment to
I did kind of like fall into a situation where I was pushed myself into an area where it was like so where's your Seth Rogen impression? And I was like, I've never even tried that, and nor was I intending to do one, and I just stopped, like hitting a brick wall.
Sometimes it's just like you just have to like that match in that coal mine to see if things blow up.
That's the best I got.
Something more like a Cookie Monster.
Oh, Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Hey. I mean,
I probably did Franco.
I did
horrible things with movie sets.
I did. Well, now you're kind of going into D'Onofrio Fisk.
Yeah. And we did Born Again series, just like this city is overrun with people like James Franco, and also I guess Daredevil, but mostly James Franco.
We must outlaw James Franco.
Pineapple Express will never be shown at a cinema screen in this city again.
When I was a young boy, I watched Spider-Man, the animated series, on GMTV.
We didn't have one of those fancy skyboxes back then.
Wait, I mean CITV. That was what it was called. Sorry, I'm old and have bad memory.
I've been punched a lot in the head by Daredevil, and things don't always make sense to me anymore. 3:45 is when it came on, after school, unless I was at after-school chess. But that was only on Wednesdays.
Wesley, did you see the last episode of Spider-Man?
I'm sorry, Mr. Fisk, I don't know what's going on. I'm just a little intern, trying to get my big break in the world.
Whatever happened to Mary Jane Watson? She fell into that portal, but the portal world doesn't really make sense.
They're in dreams, but not in dreams. Why didn't you just tell him that his father was a Green Goblin at the outset? It would have saved him time.
Why is it that this portal world communicates through reflections only to one person?
Where does Freddy Krueger fit into all this?
Wait a minute. How are there two of us right now? Which of us is the hallucination?
This is what happens when you talk into mirrors right after you go to the paint site.
I've got to say, sorry to interrupt.
Myself.
I've got to say, Willie, you're looking good.
I wish I could kiss you right now, but Vanessa is watching. It would be weird.
She's crying. She doesn't understand what it's like to grow up in this city.
We've just got back in touch in therapy, and I feel this would derail things.
When you look inside a mirror, you see yourself, but also you see the person you will become. Don't you think so, Vanessa? Also, do you think so, Wilson Fisk, who I am speaking to in the mirror?
Yes, I'll sign the divorce paper. This is a bad development for our marriage. Anywho, let's go back to...
There's no off-ramp to that from
Yeah,
that.
we should be doing this the whole way through. We're just going to end the podcast with, like, Wilson Fisk talking to himself.
I have to use, like, 90% of my brain CPU to do a half-decent D'Onofrio. I don't know what I'm actually saying.
It's like a sequel to being John Malkovich, being Vincent D'Onofrio. Which I 100% watch.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we're about climax time. We heads to the Golden Gate Bridge, or the whatever the bridge it is. It's not Golden Gate, but where MJ disappeared.
George Washington, I think.
George Washington Bridge, yeah, that's it. Where MJ disappeared for a nice big like cyclical confrontation, and Spider-Man tries the whole like, we're friends, just look into your heart, you know it's true. But he of all people should know that that's not going to work because he's been like such a bad friend to him.
Remember all the good times we've had?
Yeah.
Footage not found.
I stole your girlfriend. I don't pay any rent.
Yeah.
I've been ignoring you as your father went missing.
Mm-hmm.
I caused you to blow up your own house.
Yeah.
Good times, right?
You're suspicious that I might have fucked your dad.
Yeah. There's no way of us telling, but he disappeared afterwards and also started a fire in your like childhood home. I'm sure the smell will come out eventually. Look, we're cool, right?
Peter, did you fuck my dad so hard he went into another dimension?
We've been friends a long time. It doesn't have to end this way.
Friends? Is that what we were, Peter?
Peter's trying to like appeal to Harry. Punisher's here, and his car blows up. Peter basically is like, I'll let you do this again even though it wasn't you this time. So he tackles Harry Osborn into the Hudson River.
Yep.
And he blows up his indestructible glider that he makes at Oscorp, flies into a building, and blows up.
He's also very lamenting another person dropping off a bridge into the water, and it's like, okay, at this point,
I should really stop coming here.
Yeah, or come up with a different plan.
Yeah,
you know.
Maybe not so much water this time because people keep on fucking drowning.
Well, also like the city should probably have just set up permanent nets on the side for all the people Spider-Man is throwing off.
Like little pigeon wires, so you can't like sit on any of the wires.
Mm-hmm.
Or like scarecrows or something.
Scarecrows.
Anyways. Yeah. Oh no! I'm gonna go away. It's another scarecrow. Some man on this bridge. I can't do anything. Anyway, again, this dimension shit makes no sense because no one's watching this all on like fucking dimension vision.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like a big like hole in the wall.
And he can see stuff without creating a portal as well.
Yeah.
I guess the portal is when you actually go there. Otherwise, you're.
You can just, like,
is he? Do they even do it where he's like watching? Is he watching from the water or something? Is it the idea that he can?
He's just in like a whole in-dimensional like pad.
Oh, so they didn't even have the consistency of it's like a reflection thing. It's just like where the camera is. And they also don't show where he stood, right? Because you see him from behind, right? So you just know he's just standing in some kind of dimensional room, like where Madam Web lives.
Yeah, he's like hiding from Freddy Krueger. I brought nachos. I thought we were gonna watch a movie. Be quiet! I don't want my son fail.
He's just gonna room share with Freddy Krueger and Madam Web. They all have adjoining rooms. They share a bathroom. Well, actually, Madam Web probably has a bathroom built into her chair.
I visualize that we need more toilet paper, for I am shitting right now. Talk about a pie pooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sad place to live. The Punisher finds Spider-Man he finds Harry before Spider-Man, carries him off, and Peter's like, I guess I lost my best friend. But on the other hand, I guess I don't have to talk to him anymore, so that's a win-win. And like as he walks off, like sopping wet, we see a redhead watch him go. And it turns out that we'll get into that.
Which we see via Goblin portal vision, right? Like he's the one who
the
sees
Goblin's,
it.
like watching this happen.
He's just watching the episode, basically, right?
Yeah. As much as he's contributing, like it probably would be better if he just like stood back and watched everything happen at this point. There's a whole like motivation like set up there, and he just interferes, but not in a useful way. But yeah, we go home. Peter goes back, not home because Peter's homeless now, but he goes back to like Aunt May's house, and like the Punisher's there in his living room with Harry.
The way they showed this was very funny to me because it wasn't just like him walking in and seeing it. He walks in and goes to go up the stairs, and then he like doubles back like he didn't register it the first time and looks around the corner, and then it's the Punisher and the Green Goblin like just sat on the sofa. It's very funny as a cut. I don't know if it's meant to be funny, but it really made me laugh.
And like Harry's like been unmasked and he's like gibbering to himself.
Yeah.
Punisher's tied him up. Punisher's like, what's going on? And Peter's like, how did you get in here? My aunt's gonna be home any second. What the fuck?
Also, like, what is this? Like, he's trying to find Mary Jane is Punisher's mission, and then potentially punish the boyfriend who might have done something with her. But at this point, he's just broken into the woman's house, found out where she lived, broken into them, and taken this separate crazy man who's somehow involved and tied him up on the sofa. I don't know what this.
Crazy man should I add? Like he's like just ruined Aunt May's sofa because he's just like from the river.
Oh yeah. It's not like clean water either.
Yeah, sorry, your aunt's house is gonna smell for a little while. I'm assuming this is your aunt's house because I actually don't know where this is. It's broke in.
I think they're all just like hanging out in Aunt May's house, I guess. I feel like Aunt May and Aunt Anna did move in together at some point, like kind of like the Mac and Charlie's mums in It's Always Sunny, which is actually a really similar dynamic, don't you think?
Yeah.
Because Charlie's mum, R.I.P. to the actress, by the way.
Oh yeah. She died,
Unfortunately, I forgot. I can't recall her name right now, but she was a very funny woman.
Yeah.
Bunny Kelly is very much like an Aunt May doting, like crazy figure. Aunt Anna is like chain smoking cigarettes and like just abusive to. Although I guess Mac's mum wouldn't care if he went missing through a portal, so maybe it doesn't 100% match up.
Yeah, all my sons go to boils. Yeah.
It is grandma house, right? Like
It's grandma house. So what I think happened is that Aunt May went to live with Aunt Anna. I just forgot to lock the door, so people were just like claiming squatters' rights in her house.
and the reason Aunt May doesn't come down in all of this is because there's a line of Santas going to her door upstairs.
Anyway, yeah. So our Punisher's questioning Peter, who's like mad, obviously, and then naturally, MJ walks in, and if you're MJ in the situation, you've been in a portal for however many years or months. You walk back to your boyfriend's house, and there you see the Punisher. You see a soaking wet Harry Osborn in a goblin costume, gibbering. I see Peter watching it all, and she has no questions. She's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Peter's here," which is great.
I can't remember what she says, but it's also like kind of very vague and suspicious.
I don't know where I've been or what's happened. I just knew that I had to find you. I love you, Peter.
And I love you.
Oh.
I have a promise to keep, kid.
And it's also like, "Oh, I love you, by the way." And Harry's like watching this all, like whatever sanity he has left, just flying out the window.
Yeah. And then Anna comes in and has this like super understated reaction. She's like, "Oh, hi, Mary Jane. It's good to see you. You just sent like a maniac after to find this woman."
It's actually funnier than that, because what happens is Anna opens her door and the Punisher's like carrying an unconscious Mary Jane in a bridal carry.
Right.
And how do you go from like in Aunt May's house conscious to like no one else being there and she's unconscious and the person you brought isn't with him anymore? And what happened there? Because it seems like what happened was he was like, you're gonna deal with this, right? You're gonna deal with the Green Goblin, right? I'm gonna go take Mary Jane with me." And she objects and just punches her in the head and then just carries her off and he's like, "See ya."
I think Mary Jane was like, "We don't have time for me to say anything, so I'm just gonna chloroform myself."
Yeah.
To become an object for the end of this episode.
I went through 3-dimensional portals and all I got was this silly bottle of chloroform. Anyway, so yeah, he goes like, "Here's your like niece," lays her on the sofa, and he drives off, going, "Ha! A job well done by the Punisher."
Yeah, and
You know,
he's like, "Oh, I'm starting to feel human again." And he has this sense of like accomplishment, like he did something, and he just kind of was. It was like a proper like the Leonard Nimoy like Simpsons thing of like you didn't do anything, didn't I? And just like fading away, like what the hell did he do this whole episode? He just blew up random things.
He's caused thousands of dollars in damages, made a false accusation, ruined Aunt May's sofa.
You know, I'm really getting tired of that guy blowing things up around me.
War Journal entry 81498. Don't know how all this happened. Maybe I never will. But for the first time in a long while, I feel human again.
And also, like, now like, Harry Osborn is completely insane, and, like, this episode has this sense of, like, finality to it, of, like, now everything's right. And it's like, no, everything is so much more screwed up.
Because in his mind, like, he doesn't know Peter's Spider-Man, so he's like, "You know that guy tried to blow us up, like, a few months ago? This guy tried to blow me up a few minutes ago. Can you deal with him?" What do you expect Peter to do in the situation?
Yeah.
Just leaves him there.
He made it so much worse and left this volatile situation for these civilians to deal with.
Yeah, I'm gonna help this old lady because I was hanging around graveyards again and like she was like there.
I'm gonna go back to the graveyard to get some more work.
Yeah, so really good like avenue for me actually. Like now people in graveyards, they're all like pretty desperate people.
Yeah,
you can deal with this, right? Like you can order him a taxi, I guess. Spider-Man kind of like swings away with Harry in tow, and Harry's like, "Did I imagine that you were Spider-Man?" And Peter's like, "We imagined a lot of things."
Yeah.
And yeah. MJ's back. I'm sure there's nothing that's going to go wrong with this. And that was the end of like a very fucking confusing episode.
Yeah.
Oh well, Spidey. Enjoy some good luck for a change. Mary Jane is back, and maybe this nightmare is over. At last.
So...
It lost its goddamn mind.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of like maybe covered it, but I feel all the Harry stuff in this episode, it was so undercooked. I think I got salmonella from watching.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell was going on. They really should have made it a 2-parter at the very least, maybe even a 3-parter. You gotta like show that decline or something. Or the function of the parallel dimension that Green Goblin is in is so confusing. The Punisher stuff was very funny, but also nothing he did made sense. Nothing Harry did made sense. Aunt Anna did make sense, but only as like a deranged human being.
Yeah. She made sense, but she often doesn't make sense.
But there was a lot of squandered potential in this episode, but it also has like a couple of like moments that I really enjoyed. I did think it was a fun episode in a lot of ways. It's so chaotic, and there are episodes of the show where I'm like, that was genuinely good, or that was crazy, but kind of held together in a fun way. And this is like, I'm never going to argue. You wouldn't show this episode to someone if you're trying to convince them that Spider-Man the animated series was good, because it would do the opposite. But
Yeah.
it was fun, and I think a lot of that is down to the voice acting, to be honest.
Do you know what I say about like the cheese nightmare, right?
Yeah.
And like that you have like all this like pizza, you don't have it there, you have this delicious cheese nightmare. It's like one of those episodes, but like, instead of the cheese nightmare, it's just like someone forgot the plate or the container, and there's like handing it to you in their bare hands.
Yeah.
Like Harry Osborn's handing it to you in his bare hands, and you're like, hey, I know where those hands have been. I know you, Harry Osborn. You've probably just been jerking off. I don't want to take that fucking cheese from you. It was like just a complete insane nonsense. Despite all that, this is the kind of stuff that I was anticipating when I started this podcast with you. I was like, I'm expecting episodes like this.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I expect of the show. And I'm glad it finally like lowered to my dim expectations of it. So we've had like lots of episodes where it's been fun and insane, but this is just like badly written but fun. Chaos.
It was interesting because this is one of the parts of the shows that I didn't really remember that well. I knew that Harry would that he would become the Green Goblin at some point, but I didn't know how it would happen. And the answer is that it kind of happens. And I wonder if they're just going to drop it now, or if it's going to come back, or what. Like part of me thinks that they're just like, yeah, we did the Harry Osborn thing, whatever, and then just move on, because I don't understand.
This is the part of the show that I kind of vaguely recall.
Oh yeah.
And I will say that no, this is not the last we've seen of Harry Osborn and the Green Goblin.
Oh, that's interesting, because there's a couple of things I remember about the Mary Jane stuff, which I'm not going to mention because I think you might not remember it.
No, I remember it. I had a
you do?
very good like memory of what happens. Yeah.
What do you want to? What do you remember?
I remember like from what I remember, basically this is too good to be true. Is what I'm going to say without spoiling what happens later on.
Yeah, and she does kind of come in that fashion. She doesn't come in a way that feels like it's legit. But anyway, talking generally about this, like, do you think there's anything really in comparison of like the two goblins, Norman and Harry as Green Goblin in this show? Because I guess he's just like worse at it, right?
He's much worse at it. I'm trying to think of like a father-son duo. It's like Max Landis and John Landis is how I would describe it. Like they're both pieces of shit, but at least one of them is talented.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't really pick any holes in that right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's
big question is, who are the partners and are they in danger? You said no partner, right? You said no partners.
I amend my answer. I think there's one partner, and the only thing they're in danger of is getting like slightly homoerotic. I think.
What, Peter and Harry?
And that is Punisher and Micro.
Oh,
I was like Punisher and Micro.
Well, no, okay. My partnership in this is Aunt Anna and the Punisher, because they enter into business basically.
Yeah. They're definitely not in danger. Everyone else is in danger, but they're
both like reckless people with grand delusions of vigilantes.
Kind of like a Lethal Weapon like reboot.
Yeah.
Like the Punisher and Old Lady.
We get a reunion of Mary Jane and Peter, so I guess that's kind of there's no partners that are in danger. There's partners causing danger, I guess.
Partners and then a space and then danger.
Yeah.
Partners plus danger equals profit.
Partners in, comma, danger.
Danger.
Partners in, semicolon.
No, it's danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, they start out with this partners in danger like mindset, and in the next 3 episodes, my memory of the show is coming back, and we have a lot to get through, but there's very few partners and a lot of danger, It's just how we like Spider-Man the animated series.
Which is interesting because this is really, I remember season 5 a lot better than I remember this one. So,
I think I remember like probably the same amount, but I don't know how much of it's season 4, how much it's season 5, because this is episode 8 and there's 11 episodes in this season, and there's 3 episodes to go. And I know what one of them will be, and it might be the next one actually.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then like I think it will end with an episode that I'm assuming is coming up, but it might not end with an episode because there's a lot to get through before we get to the really weird shit of season 5.
It all makes sense now.
I'm not going to do a full-on comic origins thing, so you can be thankful for that. But also, it's not like enough of a weird lore either, because it's actually good.
It hasn't been weird or lore.
It's just really to like highlight some of the differences, because it's harder watching this knowing the comics, because the comics, this one of the best stories in any Spider-Man comic is the Harry Osborn stuff. Something that I don't think has been served by any of the movies. I did kind of like it, I guess, in Spider-Man 1 and 2. I did kind of like how they did that, and then it's kind of iffy in the third one.
I think if they had a whole movie to flesh it out, probably would be better, but they were doing too many things.
And then the less said about Dane DeHaan's Goblin Disease, Amazing Spider-Man 2 nonsense. Yeah, this just off the wall.
The less said about Dane DeHaan's career, the better.
But yeah, so, I mean, it's basically, Norman Osborn was never a good guy, even pre-Goblin. And kind of like in this show and in the other stuff, Harry wants his approval, he's cold, he puts him down. Harry kind of like mentally is kind of iffy the whole time. He like has this whole thing where he gets like addicted to drugs, and they do kind of a very special episode of Spider-Man where Stan Lee like addresses like drug crisis in the 70s or whatever.
Oh yeah.
He does overdose, and that's one of the traumatic things that happens to Norman that kind of gets him to lose it completely and then go and kill Gwen Stacy. It was probably included in we did that Patreon episode talking about the death of Gwen Stacy.
Yeah,
so it was kind of covered there a little bit. And after that, he hides the Goblin costume, so he undresses his dead father, I guess. And which is something Peter also does a couple of times as well. Everyone's stripping Norman Osborn when he's unconscious.
That was his kink.
So later on, Harry finds out that Peter is Spider-Man and suits up as the Green Goblin and kind of like has a bit of a mental break, kind of like in this episode, but doesn't take any serum or anything. And then he ends up, the Goblin stuff, they always get amnesia. Harry's always having like repressing the memory, and then it's coming up. And there's a couple of times where he suits up for a good reason. Something is going down and he has the Goblin stuff in his closet and he gets it on and helps Spider-Man. And then Peter's like, please stop doing this. And he's like, fine.
Or like it's like laundry day and he hasn't got anything else to wear.
Just wearing it around in the laundromat.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, are we done soon? No, it's okay, like, I'm not gonna kill you yet. He's like late for a date and he's like, well, sorry I'm late, I had to like finish my laundry. I know you're a blonde woman, but that's fine. Between this and like OJ Simpson, blonde women are just like in danger all the time from these two terrorizing New York.
Well, I mean, Harry did do a lot of terrorizing in the same decade. In the 90s, the big story arc basically is there's a basically Spectacular Spider-Man like 180 through to 200 is that this long arc of Harry's repressed memories coming to the surface. Psychologically, it's fascinating. The writer J.M. DeMatteis, I believe, and basically, if anyone is interested in this, there's a trade like a collection of these stories that's coming out in the summer. For some reason, they never collected it before, but it's really good issues, and it's basically he relapses into the Goblin persona, and he kind of like resents Peter because he believes, well, he thinks that Peter resented him for his amazing father because Peter doesn't have a dad, and he must be jealous of how amazing my dad was. When in actuality, Aunt May and Uncle Ben were amazing parents, and Norman Osborn was abusive.
Yeah.
There's a long-standing thing with them where he's like psychologically tormenting Peter in various ways for this like slow revenge plot, but it's kind of a bit up in the air because he doesn't really want to kill him, and he has a long friendship with Mary Jane. At this point, Harry has a son, and is married to Liz Allen, actually.
Hmm.
And so they're all connected. So there's like a lot of tension of him kind of slipping in and out of this persona while Peter is trying to like manage it without everything blowing up.
Yeah.
Towards the end, he completely goes off the deep end, and it ends in like a sort of tragic, like very emotional way. And it's truly it's like one of the best Spider-Man stories, maybe the best, Spider-Man arcs out there. Like it's really fucking good, so people should read it. And it will be like you can buy a collection like later this year. But yeah, so it's hard to compare this stuff because like it's so much better in the comics, but like you're never gonna get that kind of story in the children's cartoon or
But I think they could have tried.
a movie, I guess. It's very like long plot. It's like very much like a TV ongoing, like there's a mystery, there's different identities, there's like secrets, there's secret bookcases that open to secret labs, like I really like that aspect of the Goblin stuff, and it's not really something that fits into a movie. But saying that, the Spectacular Spider-Man show, I think did it pretty well with Harry Osborn, and I wish it continued more so we could get more of it. But they did a really good job of extending the identity mystery and involving Harry, but also doing Norman. So probably the best we're gonna get of that story adapt.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
Unless there's like new Spider-Man, like with its like budget that's solo, they can't have background characters moving unless it does that.
Did you watch it? I can't remember.
I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes, and I was like, I kind of, I don't know. I think I'm too old for Spider-Man in some ways. I'm just like this guy's annoying me, and the animation is really bad.
I really am put off by the animation, so I haven't watched it. I have heard some good things about the story and the way they're doing Norman Osborn in a different way. Yeah. So I'm curious, but like I feel like maybe one day I'm going to be in the mood and I'll watch it, but I just really can't get past. Like I'm just watching money burn, with that animation style. Everything's like very
Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah, exactly. It's very clunky.
The what if like animation, and like I wasn't joking about like the characters literally like in the background stop moving. They're all static background characters, and it's like you're fucking Disney. Come on.
Yeah.
You had the money to do this properly.
I mean, sometimes that can work. Invincible does that, and they even call it out, right? Like there's a thing where they like, oh, this is how we save money on animation. You just have people not moving, and they do a whole gag about it. But yeah, but the difference is with Invincible is that it's like the motion of the things that are moving is so dynamic and powerful that the background stuff isn't my favorite, but it's not where your eye is focusing so much, so it's not a big deal.
And it helps that Invincible doesn't look like a fucking shitty 3DS game.
Yeah. Wow. 3DS. That's rough. I guess in other adaptation news, there's that they announced that the new Spider-Man's going to be called Brand New Day, which I don't think means anything. I think they're just using it as a title because it's like, hey, we're relaunching Spider-Man. But Brand New Day did bring in Mr. Negative as a character. And so I'm pretty certain that that's the villain they're going to be going with because he's a big one they haven't done. And people know him from the games.
He's the only one they haven't done left, right?
Pretty much. Like, there's probably a couple of ones. And then I guess there's stuff like, I guess they never did Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
There's a handful of characters they haven't. I guess they never did Scorpion. Really?
They alluded to it. Like he's
yeah,
in the universe.
They teased it and then he never did anything.
Kraven the Hunter's still in like hell, for all I hear. They might bring him into the universe at some point. Same with Chameleon.
Yeah, well, Kraven is streaming now, so it's possible for us to watch it without paying them.
Possible, but likely. I don't know.
We'll see. I the only reason to do it is for the bit, And
it's possible to drink bleach, but that doesn't mean we should do it.
Yeah, what a Tide Pod of a movie.
Yeah, don't wash it. Throw it in your fucking washing machine. The best use of this bullshit.
Yeah. Well, we're winding down, and you have a hard out, don't you?
I do have a hard out in a couple of minutes.
A couple of minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is where we leave you, faithful That 90s Spider-Man Show listeners. Do feel free to check us out on all the different things, podcast apps, the internet,
yeah,
Reddit, DafoePenis.com.
DafoePenis.com. That's the main one. That's the main one we're pushing for. And as always, check out No Context Spider-Man. I've been doing a bunch of things of on Instagram. I did this whole thing where it was like a Superior Spider-Man takeover, because I did like 400 posts and want to do something to celebrate that, and also hit 20,000 followers, and so it's just all Superior Spider-Man posts, and it was meant to be a week, and then I went too far, and now it's like 2 weeks. But that's
You started a week ago.
I started like 10 days ago. It was meant to be a week. It'll be long done by the time I finish.
20,000 followers, 400 posts on 420. Do you light one up?
I did actually do a 420 post. I found a bunch of like smoking adjacent panels and annoyed myself because the one panel I forgot to include was the one from Spidey Super Stories where Spider-Man is walking down the yellow brick road and he says like, I need to talk to the wizard to find Mary Jane. And I was like, that's perfect. I forgot to include it, so it was annoying. But anyway,
next year.
Yeah. There's always next year, but
there's always. Yeah.
But yeah,
there's always the next episode of that Spider-Man show.
Yeah, so make sure you check for updates on DafoePenis.com. And
please support the GoFundMe. You know, we're taking a bath on this, but I think it'll eventually will come through, much like Dafoe's penis and Antichrist.
I don't know if it came through, if I'm honest. I don't think it made it.
I don't think it made it. Yeah. These are the in memoriam at the end of the movie.
They really should have.
They really should have done that. Anyway, speaking of things we really should do, it's time for us to leave you, dear listener. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time in some point in 2025. Goodbye.